New cards just dropped for Sorcery's Arthurian Legends, and we're going to take you through all we know about these wonderful new cards. Let's get into it. Sorcery's next set, Arthurian Legends, draws inspiration from both Celtic, Welsh and later medieval traditions. So it is not going to be a cookie cutter knight set.
And with this next card, we sort of already knew that it was coming because in one of these wonderful artist spotlight videos that the Sorcery team did, they featured Jeff Menges. And in this video, he had a little sketchbook with him, and right up at the top corner, when you really zoomed in and if you were really looking and pause framing and all that, you could see that he had, and I wasn't, you could see that he had written Arthurian Legends, Camelot, Galahad, and Brown Bears. So 2 spoilers that might also show up from Jeff. But we got a reveal at the Sorcery Spring Social with the Baltimore and the Courtesan Cup, and it was indeed Camelot by Jeff. And it is an amazing, amazing piece of art within this really ornate frame that is also a piece of art all by itself. It is a unique site and it has some really cool effects.
So it is a unique site, and it doesn't provide you with any threshold, but it still generates 1 mana. And what makes this site really great is the rule text, and the rules read that it costs 1 less to cast unique minions to nearby sites. Enabling you to cast minions at nearby sites is a great feature because that enables you to combine this site's effect with other sites' effect, such as Donnybrook Inn, so you can have even more cost reduction, or you can even clone Camelot with Mirror Realm to have even more cost reduction. So this card is going to be a staple in many a deck, especially because right from the get-go, you think Highland Princess. That is going to be one of the cards you're going to use with this site for the cost reduction. But remember that it says unique minions. That means that you can use even bigger minions. They don't have to be mortals. So you can use the Great Old One or even Death Dealer and a lot of other great uniques.
Do let us know down in the comment section which cards are you looking forward to pairing together with Camelot. Leave a comment down in the comment section. If we have a look at the art here, I also think it's worth mentioning that this art is really spectacular. The way that it leads your eyes through this causeway over to Camelot, the beautiful scenery in the background with the skies, but also these small knights on that causeway giving you some sort of dimension and understanding of the size and scale of this castle. I think it's a great piece and I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully we get it in foil so we can enjoy that full art backside.
Next up is Keening Banshee, and I look really much forward to this card because it's a spirit. And right now I think we have a lot of typal support for spirits, so having even more spirits, that's just right into my game. Keening Banshee doesn't look like a great card because it's a 3 power minion for 4 casting cost with 2 air threshold, and that in itself is not great. We have many better cards than that. But what makes this card, in my opinion, really good is that it's an ordinary, which means, you know, common sense, ability to have more in a deck and stuff like that, and that's great. But what makes it really shine is that if you have a mortal minion die this turn, you can cast this card for free. Yeah, you heard that right, for free. You still have to have the 2 air threshold, of course, but being able to cast a 3 power minion for free can really ramp you and can really become a powerful, powerful card. You can also combine Keening Banshee with Evil Presence, and then it will have charge, which is also really powerful. But we all know that having a 3 power minion is really the sweet spot right now. Of course the meta can change, but a 3 power minion is a great minion, and having that for free is really powerful, especially because you can use common sense to find it when you really need it. And also do note that you just need to have 1 mortal minion die, and then you can just unload your hand if you have more Keening Banshees on hand. You can also have a foot soldier die, for instance, maybe to a werewolf, and then just unload your hand with those Keening Banshees. I think this card is going to see a lot of play, and I'm happy to see an ordinary rarity at this point because this card looks promising.
If you're enjoying this video, please smash that like button down there and consider becoming a subscriber. Thank you. At Baltimore, we're seeing a lot of great games, and we're recording this on the Sunday, and we're waiting for some more live stream coming up because it has been a great event. It looks like people are having a ton of fun and there are loads of artists participating, and in general this is so cool to see the community come together. We saw 3 reveals, and 2 of them we've already been talking about because Jeff did the wonderful and beautiful Camelot piece, Alan Pollack did the piece with the Keening Banshee, And we also had Druid Parish revealing a really cool piece of art with something that looks like a giant somehow throwing a knight over the walls of a castle or a fortress or something like that. It looks like a really cool piece, and we could speculate what it might be doing. It could be something about being able to throw your minions, throw a morsel, throw a knight or something. Maybe the giant being able to take more steps because it has these long legs. Who knows? We would love to hear what you think that this art will be for a card and what that card might be able to do.
Next up is Tintagel, and this card is by Lindsay Crummet. It's also a unique sign, and it is absolutely stunning and gorgeous. We have even seen this card in foil revealed by Simon from Sorcery Team, and it's absolutely breathtaking. I love the art in this card. This card provides you with 3 elemental thresholds, but it must be placed on your back row. So this is actually one of these cards that are taking a greater emphasis on the grid in Sorcery, and we look really much forward to see how many cards in Arthurian Legends are going to be focusing on the unique system of Sorcery being the grid. Of course, this card can hurt you if you're playing, for instance, a Pathfinder, because if you're not able to put this card on your back row, it doesn't do anything. It won't provide you with any threshold, and it won't provide you with any mana. So that is the drawback. But if you have this in your opening hand and you're able to play it on your home side, it's going to be an absolute banger of a card, because it's going to open up for so many combinations with the threshold that it provides you. And we hope that this might be just one of the cards in a series where you see more unique sides being able to provide 3 thresholds.
The next card has also been revealed at a tournament, or at least the art for it. This seems to be an ongoing theme, and I think that is really cool, sort of rewarding the people that show up with being able to see some original sorcery art pieces. This piece is called Koi Nixie, and it is made by Lindsay Crummet, just like Tintagel. And it is such a beautiful piece. It is this sort of mermaid-like creature sitting in what looks to be like a cave, and it is really, really cool. There's a wonderful video out there showing the entire process, so do be sure to look that up if you're interested in seeing a bit more of the process behind the art.
Koi Nixie is an exceptional merfolk with power 2 costing 3 to cast and having 2 water threshold. It also has Submerge, and once on your turn you can force a nearby minion to take 1 step towards Koi Nixie, and if you do so, that minion becomes tapped. I like the ability. I like to have water being a control element, and this card, even though it's very similar to Guile Sirens, it's just a little bit better. It doesn't have to use its ability at the start of your turn, giving you some flexibility to set up maybe a trap, and it also taps the minion that it forces to move, which also removes a blocker, and that might be crucial in games where you're trying to pile up minions in front of your avatar to prevent you from getting that killing blow by a lightning bolt. I like the ability. It gives you some flexibility, it can help you manipulate the grid, and it can also set up some creatures to just be shark food. So go Waller!
We had a talk at some point, and we were speaking back and forth and saying, okay, what kind of cool things could we imagine that could be coming for Arthurian Legends? One of the things I said, and I do believe it was in a conversation with Drew from On The Play YouTube channel, I said, wouldn't it be cool if we had some sort of like potions, because it would fit with the whole alchemy theme? And indeed, we got Love Potion. And Love Potion is a relic, an artifact that costs 6 to cast. And with it, you sort of do what you think it does when you're just hearing the name. You sort of make a minion fall in love with someone so you can gain control over that minion at a specific site when sacrificing Love Potion. This does make a lot of interesting combinations possible. Imagine if you have an airborne creature flying somewhere and dropping and sacrificing it on that spot. That would be pretty cool. I also think that we have several cards in the meta right now that might shift a bit with this potion. For instance, something like Scavenging Fiend could definitely see more play with Love Potion as a great combination option. I think Love Potion has a wonderful piece of art. I love that they dropped it on Valentine's, especially because it does have this sort of sinister twist to it.
Next up is the Round Table by Margaret Orkin Keane, and this card just does exactly what you would like it to. It's a gathering piece. You need to have it near to your heart, near to your realm. So it needs to be placed on the back row. So another card that places great emphasis on the grid. But we like this flavor because it's, sort of a storytelling element that enables you to have it at your realm. Whenever you summon King Arthur, a dame, a knight, or a sir to this monument on this site, you get to draw a card. which is great because we know that card draw is king in many a TCG, and sorcery is of course none different. What I really like about this card is it has a great potential. Of course, we don't know as of yet how many cards are going to fit into this typal keyword, but we could imagine it might be just quite a bit of cards since this is Arthurian Legends. And if that being the case, and if some of them have a low casting cost, you might just combine this with, for instance, Camelot, giving you the ability to cast minions cheaper and draw new cards. And this could be really powerful. So I'm looking forward to see what they have in store for us. We know that the Sorcery team drew inspirations from Celtic, Welsh and later medieval traditions, and we can see this in this card because it is just what we would expect for Arthurian Legends. The card is just spot on, it's just such a classic piece of the myth, so of course we need to have this also in Arthurian Legends. But as we talked about with some of the other cards, you can see that not all is cookie cutter, and we did indeed see a lot of creatures and other stuff that is just not what you would maybe expect for classical Arthurian Legends, and I'm really happy about that.
As Jens just said, I think it's really interesting to see how they're integrating some of the more less known folklore myth. For instance, this like knight throwing giant and also coin nixie. I think it's interesting to see that we're not just getting knights, we're also getting a banshee, coin nixie, all these lesser known creatures, but that they still have some sort of like belonging into the Celtic, Welsh or medieval traditions more broadly. I think that's really cool.
And I also think that we have great things in store for us with Arthurian Legends. We can kind of see a theme emerging already, that we have the folklore, we have the knights, we have the mythological sites, and we also, with the love potion, might have some alchemy. So I think we have a lot of great stuff in store for us.
And that is really cool. Also because the Alpha Beta set put out a lot of great ways to go. And all the while, even though they're picking up on different themes from Alpha, it still feels really connected to Alpha. We still continue on with the knights and with the merfolks and so on. Also for the spirits. I think that is extremely cool to see. And I think it does help sort of connect the sets together and make everything feel more coherent.
The only thing that we might be a bit worried about, that is, how is this going to affect the meta? We talked about the Guile Sirens versus the Coin Nixie, where the Coin Nixie just might be a little more powerful, card compared to the Guile Sirens. And I also think that Tintagel seems to be a really powerful site, and also Camelot. So are we going to see a little bit of a power creep in Arthurian Legends, or are they going to balance this perfectly? That remains to be seen, of course.
Indeed, and especially because we've seen several uniques, it is difficult to say if there's a tiny bit of power creep or if it's just because we're only seeing the rarest and most powerful of the cards right now, and it might balance out a lot as soon as we get more ordinaries, exceptionals, and also more elites. And we are really looking forward to seeing more cards for Arthurian Legends. This was all the cards we have seen from Arthurian Legends so far. We also have a video right up here where you can check out all the art as well, or a video right up here where you can see our suggestions for curio cards that might be in Arthurian Legends. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all our wonderful YouTube channel members and Patreon members. You make it all possible, and we couldn't do this without you, both in terms of support, but also in terms of all the kindness and community that you all provide. Thank you.
And we will see you in the next one.